By the way, guys, you like my new wig? I feel like she's sexy. She's giving me all of 26 inches. What do you think? Hmm? Cheers for Mystic Rain. Oh. Hey guys, so bringing you another one of these vlog vids because apparently you guys like them. And just kind of showing you my witchy patterns and what I'm going to be doing today. So this weekend is a full moon and it is also a lunar eclipse. And so your girl has to be ready because there are things that she is trying to manifest. So I'm going to be running a bunch of errands today. I'm going to be going to the metaphysical store, picking up some items, as well as to a grocery store to pick up some offering items for an altar. And I'm going to take you guys kind of with me to let you know what I'm doing and how I kind of set up sort of my sorcery. Okay. Yeah, so what I started doing with the full moon is like marinating candles. So you can like marinate magic candles, just kind of how like you marinate chicken and you put it in the fridge. You can do the same thing with the candle. And so I did like 6 candles last night I marinated. So I've got a candle for the 2 candles for the nonprofit that I co-created, or nonprofits. And then I have 2 candles for me in general, like my overall sort of success and like monetary well-being. And then I also have 2 candles for love. Now, I feel like I have to address this love thing. I stopped doing candle magic for love a while ago, mostly because I just wasn't interested anymore, right? And I just got really busy with my life and I hit that whole like, independent woman, I don't need no man, like these hoes type thing. And have been prospering, by the way, ever since I started just kind of focusing on myself and like not being bothered with like these dudes and like what they're doing and whether or not they're in my DMs or not, right? And recently, and I'm not going to go into the stories of all of this because like whatever, but essentially it's a lot of like incredibly intuitive just psychic hit after psychic hit after psychic hit that is sometimes affects like my sleep pattern and I can't sleep properly about this whole thing. Now, you guys, I don't want anybody to at me in the comments. I'm not like a beauty YouTuber, nor do I aspire to be a beauty YouTuber. I am a psychic, damn it. I am a spiritual coach and I'm just trying to look pretty. All right. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but she gonna be beat. Watch. My glow up is real. You'll see. I glow. Okay. All right. Maybe. Hold on. Wait. I'm gonna edit this, and we're gonna skip forward. And I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. Watch. Damn. So anyway, yeah. Love magic. Don't really do it all that much, but for some reason, spirit is telling me to now. So I am. Gotta be real honest about that though. I'm not pleased about it. Like it does feel like there's like this weird, like I'm busy, like I don't have time for this type thing. But I don't know. The life I live, I have learned that when they talk to me to listen to them because they are always right. And then if I don't listen to them, I will get myself in a whole world of trouble. So like for example, right, this weekend I was supposed to go to Virginia for the 4th. And I was really excited about this trip, and I had been talking about the damn trip for weeks. I was so excited to go. And then I want to say like 3 days out, something in my mind went, I'd be surprised if I end up in Virginia. And I was like, why am I like, what is that about? And then a bunch of events happened, all synchronicities confirming that I shouldn't be going. And then on the day before that I was supposed to leave for Virginia, I was like, something really doesn't feel right. And so I was like, let me pick some cards to see if I can see what it is. And the first card that fell out of the deck was the coffin card, okay? A casket. And I was like, I'm not going. Nope. You guys go. You don't have to trust the psychic in the family if you don't want to trust the psychic in the family, but I'm not going. So, by the way, guys, you like my new wig? I feel like she's sexy. She's giving me all of 26 inches. What do you think? So, what was I talking about? Marinating candles. So yeah, so my candles have been marinating. So I've got the love candles that I was talking to you about. And then let's start with that one first. So in here is just a bunch of love oils, herbs. There's rose, red sandalwood that's in here. There's cardamom in here, a few essential oils, and we've got some allspice and cinnamon, some ginger that's also in here as well. And then for these, I also have some lotus stones that I am charging. So a lotus stone is a magnetic rock, and you charge them by using magnetic sand. And the idea is that if you have two lotus stones, a male and a female lotus stone, that you draw things to you, and this is usually used when you're doing like love type of stuff. So, just for transparency, when I do love magic, I don't do love magic on someone else. So, for example, if I like someone, I'm not going to be like, hey, Bob, like, I'm not going to put Bob's name in a candle. I'm not going to write about Bob. I don't do that. What I do is write, like the traits in the relationship that I want to experience. So not the trait of the person, because you may think that something is good for you, when that may not be what you need. I write down what I want to experience in a relationship. So I want to experience a lot of happiness, a lot of love, a lot of joy, a lot of peace, all that type of stuff. That's how I normally do it. And then with these lotus stones, the idea is that I'm the female lotus stone. And then I attract the male lotus stone to me, right? And that the person that comes to me will be the person that if you blend their energy and my energy together, then you'll get all those things that I actually wanted to experience in a relationship anyway. And that's how I do love magic. I don't do it on other people. That backfires every single time. And that is so controversial, I've noticed. Not necessarily with you guys, right? But I do have other practitioners from time to time that try to tell me that I'm like wrong. And I'm like, look, you do what it is that you want to do. But I'm saying what I'm saying, one, because I've done it, right? If something screws up, then I'm going to tell you not to do what I've done, right? And that is a lot of like where it comes from. It's not like an idealism thing. It's like, guys, I've messed this up bad. And I have learned my lesson, and so I'm teaching you to not repeat a lesson that I then had to go and learn. If you do love magic on someone else, it will backfire. Like, that's karma. I don't know how else to say it. So I teach how to do it responsibly, so you can go, still get your fix or whatever, but you're not like racking up all this karma in the process. For these particular candles, the only thing I put on the candle was soulmate, because again, it wasn't in my mind to do love magic. I haven't done it in a while. That's not really where I'm at right now in life, or at least it's not where I think I'm at, because spirit has a whole nother plan sometimes, and the universe has a whole nother plan sometimes. And so even though it's not my plan, it doesn't mean that it's not a plan. And so, like I was saying before, I was getting like all of these psychic intuitive hits about this whole love thing that's been happening for like a month and a half, sometimes so strongly that like I can't sleep at all at night because I'm so psychically sensitive. And so I'm honestly just kind of going with this with them at the moment. And so I just put soulmate on it for them. And then there's also a cancel out clause. So the cancel out clause is essentially saying like, may it be good and correct for all. You put that at the end of every magic thing that you do, or any spell that you do, because the idea is if it's not conducive to the greater good, you don't want it to work, right? So for example, if you're like, I want money, like you do a money spell, let's say you need $100,000. I don't know, I'm just throwing out numbers. And you do a money spell to get $100,000, and you do not put that clause at the end, or that karma clause at the end, may it be good and correct for all. The problem with that is that your house will go burn down, and you'll get your $100,000, and it'll come to you in the form of an insurance check. That's not what you wanted, was it? So you want to be responsible. So you want to always have your karma clause at the end of it. And the karma clause essentially tells spirit that if this is not right, null and void it. Like, please void the contract if this is not right, right? Because spirit can see what you cannot see. And so there is a karma clause in this, because I think I'm picking up on like these intuitive hits, but I'm not sure. So, and the intuitive hits is it's like telling me, it's like this intuitive, like steering down, like I feel like I'm being like pushed down a love track. It's the weirdest thing to like explain to people, because it came out of nowhere, and it was like not like I was not thinking about it. Like I was like knee deep in like paperwork and like work stuff. And I think some of you guys know that I've started two nonprofits actually, and I still have a full-time job, and I do this, and I'm a spiritual teacher, and I read, and like I've got a lot of things going on in my life right now that I personally didn't feel like there was room for anything else. But at the same time, I've been on like this like self-love journey, and I had a birthday, and like I finally energetically feel like I came into myself, where like I just like looked at myself in the mirror one day, and I was like, bitch, you cute. And then ever since I like that moment where like I didn't like hate myself, I've noticed that like my life has completely done, like it's just gone poof, and like the energy around me is insane. And like what I've learned is in that moment, I like aligned, and all of these opportunities started flooding at me out of nowhere. And one of those things was like this love hit that was coming at me, and it was like spirit talking to me about it. And then I was like, no. And then they're like talking to me about it, and I'm like, no, I don't have time. But look, hey, what? Sometimes they've got a plan, and I don't know what it is. I'm not happy about it. It's literally like any of my friends that like know me, like when it comes to love, I'm like the most like aggravating friend, because I'm always the one that's like, I don't have time for this, right? It's like not that I like don't want it. I've just always been on like my like my boss woman stuff, and I'm like, I'm busy, and I'm trying to be successful, and I'm trying to glow up. And then like, so I've always just kind of been like, not now but later, like not now but later. And I don't know, I just have like this psychic itch that like something is happening in like my etheric field that I can see that may screw with that. Okay, not screw with that, but like change it a little bit. So I'm just going with things here. I've learned again that when they talk to me, to just listen, even though I don't know what the hell is going on. Also, another thing that I have are my marinating money candles. So I've got a green for money or abundance, and then I've got a yellow for like that shining success, the yellow to bring in the sun energy, right? And so I've got two of these actually. I've got one that's my personal life. So like me and my life, like what I want to accomplish as personal goals, and then like money that I want to make and opportunities that I want to come to me. That's one of the bags. And then another bag is for my nonprofit that I co-created, and the success of that nonprofit. And then also like the success in its programs, and its programs being to run. And there's like teaching and training initiatives for people, and the success of those programs, so the people that come to the nonprofit can get the resources and things that they need, and that we have the proper funding that we need, and like all that type of stuff. And then if you'll notice is that there are pieces of paper in the bags, and like both of them, there's paper in here. And so what the paper is some of that pieces of paper are random pieces of scrap paper that I've written dollar amounts on, like random dollar amounts. And then there are other scraps of paper that are pieces of check stubs. Okay, so go with me on this one. I'm about to blow your mind. So what is money, right? Money is, well, it's just energy, right? And the way we see it, the way we perceive it in the form of a bill or a check is the manifestation of a particular frequency of energy, right? But money is printed. So if you want money, the idea is that you print your own money. So don't go out here counterfeiting everything, okay? That's not what I mean. Literally rip out a piece of notebook paper and put and make money. Like as a kid, remember like when you would draw, how you would like make a rectangle, and then maybe you would put some dollar signs in the corner and then a number in the middle, and that would be like your money. Like make that, like print it yourself if that's what you need. Like it's okay to go ahead and print money. But a trick that I have just like recently figured out that blows my mind, that I wasn't even aware of, is that if you get check stubs, like if you get paid and they give you physical checks. You can ask for your check stubs, or you can print out your own check stubs if your employer has caught up with the times. You can actually use that check stub. And the reason for this is, I don't know if any of you have ever printed a check. Most likely, a lot of you probably have not. But I used to print checks for a job that I used to have, right? And like, again, not counterfeit. But when you print a check, you print checks on like regular computer paper. Like, it's the size of a computer paper, but that particular piece of paper has a check template that's always blank, and it's divided into either 3 sections or 4 sections, right? And then when you get the check, you usually rip off the check part, and then the rest of the check you usually throw away. That's the stub, and then you take the check itself and then you put it into the bank. Keep the stub, because when you print a check, the check is getting printed on one piece of paper, which means that the whole piece of paper has the energy of the dollar amount or the euro or the pound amount of that check itself. But it really is just a blank piece of paper. It's a blank piece of paper that in our minds has no value to you whatsoever. You can't use it unless it's printed on. But when you run it through a printer, and I'm talking like a regular printer, like an HP inkjet kind of printer, you can run it through one of those fancy copiers if you want to. But I printed a lot of checks on like a regular HP printer, like the same printer that you would print a college essay in, like on, is the same printer that people use to print checks. And people don't actually know this. And then so it's the same piece of paper. So instead of tearing the check off or tearing off the part that you think is valuable to put in the bank, you should keep the stubs and like keep those stubs in like your magic stash, because the paper itself, because it's been printed on, now holds the energy of the check. So like, let's just say you had a $500 check and then you put that check in the amount, that stub still has the energy of $500. So do not get rid of those. Keep them in your magic stash. So back to this. These pieces of paper, some of them are randomly written with just random dollar amounts, but some of them are also check stubs. Like the dollar amount cut out of the check stub and then put in here. And now they're both marinating. And they've been marinating since last night. These will marinate for one more day. The reason why is because tomorrow is going to be the full moon. It is also a lunar eclipse. The moon and the full moon are in Capricorn. Capricorn Capricorn rules your 10th house. Your 10th house is the house of career. And if anyone has ever seen my birth chart, my career house is on fire, okay? So hence why I'm doing all of this damn candle magic, because I'm working with the energies of it. The loved one, I'll probably light today because, again, I don't actually know why I'm lighting it. I'm like going off a hope and a prayer here, and like spirit is talking to me and I'm just listening. I'm being a good disciple. So that is what I have going on. And I've also wrote all my little petition papers, and they've all been like sitting in like their respective bowls, marinating. I also have a star bowl. I use this star bowl from the dollar store for $1. I use it for money and success and business. And then I also have a heart bowl, again from the dollar store for $1, that I use for like, well, matters of the heart. Duh. So lunar eclipse, and like, what does this mean for you? So a lunar eclipse, right, is it's like the secrets are revealed type of moon. Okay, so anything that was once hidden now bubbles and comes to the surface. For a lot of people, this will be in the form of emotions, because it's the moon that we're working with here, right? And so a lot of you are going to feel just kind of hyper emotional, a little bit irritable, maybe like someone doesn't understand you, or that like you're kind of angsty, and all of those things are okay. And you're going to be feeling the effect of this for the next 3 or so months. And lucky for you, the year 2020 has 6 eclipses in it, I believe. And so the issue with this is that every time we come out of eclipse energy, we get hit with another eclipse, and then we go back into it. And eclipses bring just change, just like overhaul, like wiping out of things and bringing in new things. So the year 2020 for, well, honestly, all of us, and we can see this just kind of like the way the world is going right now, it's just going to be one hell of a ride and a little bit rocky for a lot of you people if you do not know how to go with the flow. And so if you fight any of these energies that are happening, because a lot of the energies and what you're seeing right now in the world, a lot of that is just like elevation, right? The world is just elevating. and ascending. And with that, you're watching like this battle of frequencies that's happening right now. And if you're not in the flow of that, and being in the flow just means understanding that that's what's currently happening, then you're going to have a very hard time. The same thing with like planetary alignments. Just be in the flow of the planetary alignments. The ancients were, right? So just do that, and it's a lot easier for you. And so because the lunar eclipse is like that secret's unveiled, right? And a lot of it is emotions. If you are a smart magician, you will realize that you can take the same energy and use it to manifest anything, because you want secrets to be revealed in situations in your life that you want to change, right? So for me, with like this whole career thing and like this money thing and like this love thing, by lighting these candles, it will show me obstacles. Or if there are no obstacles that are there, it'll show me maybe little details that I've missed along the way that if I pay attention to can help it be a little bit better. And so the reason why it's a good thing to utilize this energy is because even though it's a lunar eclipse, it's still a full moon, which means you can use the energy of the fact that the moon being full to manifest. So any obstacles that you may have had along the way, all of that at the moment will be revealed. And at the same time, you can use it to transform or transmute energy really quick in order to manifest whatever it is that you want to bring in. So for me, it's like a double fold. It's a double hit. Great. What's the problem? Let's fix it and let's manifest this shit. Okay. So that's why I think working with eclipses is like really cool and really good. And also, because it's a really sort of emotional time, it'll reveal obstacles of anything that you're emotionally attached to. And the way we work as humans, we happen to be attached to the majority of things that we care about, which for a lot of people are money. You know, you can care about money and not be someone that's materialistic, but it makes sense that you would care a little bit about it because you have to feed yourself. You know, you got to keep a roof over your head and different things like that. You know, you are obviously emotionally attached to your love life or your loved ones or your job or your career. We are usually emotionally attached to those things. And because it's bringing out obstacles, emotional obstacles and blockages, which by the way is 99.7% of energetic blockages that you will ever face ever. It's good to be able to work with those energies during a full moon, particularly when you actually want to manifest something. So today, I got a lot going on. I may not be able to show all of this depending on like how long this video is going to get, because I know you guys have a really short attention span. I see my analytics. And so I try really hard not to make these videos too long. So you guys are like, I don't want to do this. But I have to go to a metaphysical store to pick up some ingredients. And I gotta go to the grocery store to pick up more ingredients, child, because I need an offering of wine, honey. And which brings me to another point. If you are doing an altar or you're lighting a candle and you're invoking the energy of a particular deity, it is highly, 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 highly respectful that you provide an offering. And a lot of times people don't know what offering to give to a particular deity. Just Google it. I swear to you, just Google it. It'll probably be like a third search result. If you Google the deity's name and then offerings, and then a whole bunch of things will come up that they like. And then you go out and you get that particular stuff. For what I'm doing, it's going to be red wine. So I'm going to go get some red wine, and then probably pick up some herbs and stuff that I need to get from the metaphysics, blah 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 blah. So I am back, and I am now setting up my altar for the full moon. So I said before that I have a few things that I'm doing for the full moon, and for one of the things that I want to do, it's best to have it to burn the candle when the moon is in Sagittarius, because well, because I said so, because of what I'm doing. But the full moon will actually be in Capricorn, which means I have a few hours to light this candle and get the spell into the universe. So when you get a full moon, there's multiple days that you can use. Right now, the moon has been full for a while. Like for this month, we have about 4-ish or so days where you can actually utilize the full moon. And today, at this time of recording, the moon is actually at 99.8% full, which means, you guys, it's full. It's just 0.2% that's not there yet. It's full, okay? And it's currently sitting in Sagittarius. And for what I want to do, I need it in Sagittarius. If I light it in Capricorn, it's not going to have the energy that I want it to have. So for one of the spells, I need it in Sagittarius. So we're going to light right now. So it's done by 12:36 tonight. And because at 12:36 Eastern time, the moon will have moved into Capricorn. And then at that point, I'll light the rest of my candles because those are centered around career and money. And like how I said before, Capricorn governs your 10th house. Your 10th house is about career and money and expansion of those type of things. And so when I get to that time frame, when the moon hits that 100.0% and is sitting in Capricorn, I will then go and light those. But I still have some hours to get done my other stuff. So I have set up an altar for the deity that I'm working with. And I know you guys are probably like wondering like what I'm working with, but I'm not going to tell you. Why? Because this is actually incredibly personal and I don't want to share my business. And I share a lot of candle magic with you guys, and I share a lot of just kind of spells with you guys and like things that I do. Some things are my business, but why the wine? So for this particular deity, wine and flowers, they love to receive during offerings. And honestly, for you internet sleuths that are out there, you may be able to figure it out on just that information alone. So I went to the store and I picked up some red wine. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. And so this is for the gods. Cheers to the gods. This is for Mystic Rain. Cheers for Mystic Rain. Oh. Oh, she's gonna feel that. So let's take you with me so you can see what I have done and what I am doing. So here's the altar, the little love altar that I've got set up here. Here is the wine that I have for the offering, as well as some rose in here, because for flowers for another offering. And then some 2 lotus stones that I have that I was talking about earlier. So this mixture, the lotus stones, the candles, and the petition were all actually in one Ziploc bag, and they marinated for 24 hours. And now I will light these bad boys and we'll get going. So where's my lighter? All right, and before you light, you just say, "It is so, and so it shall be."